Hi guys, welcome back. It's Chala from Crafting Through the Chaos of Life. Thanks so much for joining me for another video. Today's video is for Scrap and Stamp Canada, and our kind of prompt word for today is Slimline. And I have all of this going on right here to create some Slimline jelly print cards. So let's get started and go through some of these supplies. So I have obviously I have my jelly print, so let's try and move some of this stuff here. I have two different types of gel printing plates. And so what I have is, I have the standard gel press. This is a 5x7 inch. I'm not sure I'm going to use this one today because I am doing Slimline cards, and this one here from Lavinia Stamps. This one is called the Boblong. It is just a little bit longer, and it's kind of really geared towards making slimline cards. So I think I'm going to be using this one. But if you have this kind, definitely go ahead and use it. It just means that you're going to have to trim down your image a little bit, or you're going to have to kind of move your paper around to get gel printing on, say, the whole piece. Like, I'm starting off here with some buff cardstock, and this measures 4 inches by 8.5. So if you're using like a 5x7, you're just going to want to move it around to do your printing to get your image on the entire slimline kind of portion of that cardstock. So I'm just going to set this one aside. And what else do I have? So we have the gel printing press that we're going to be using. I'm also going to be using some alcohol inks. I thought that would be fun, so I have my little stash of alcohol inks here. Set those off to the side. Next, what I have is obviously some brayers. We're going to be needing some brayers to brayer the alcohol ink. I have some stencils. So this one is from Lavinia Stamps. It's this beautiful leaf mask. I have a stencil from Pink and Mean, and this one is called the Mandela. I think this one would be fun to work with. And I also have stamps. This one is from Pink Fresh Studios, and it is called the Heartfelt Thanks stamp set. And again, it works just perfectly for slimline cards, and I really, really like the sentiments that come with this. So we will, yeah, be playing along with this as well. I also have some StazOn ink that we're going to be needing for the stamp. I also have some white acrylic paint. This paint is honestly just left over from a virtual team building craft night that I did with the girls from work online. We painted a fun pumpkin, and I have some acrylic paints left over from that. So I'm just going to be using this to help pull up those prints. Also, I have, or you can use if you have kind of texture pieces. So these are just from Sculpty. They are kind of what you use with the Fimo or clay. And I thought these would be fun to kind of create some texture. So really what I want to do, oh, and also I have, just off to the side here, just some scripty rubber stamp. I think this just came in from a magazine, a free stamp with a magazine that I got. I just really like the script. So, okay, let's get started and see what we can create here. Now, if you are really particular about keeping your supplies super neat and clean, which honestly I try to do, but it doesn't work that well, what's going to happen with these alcohol inks, they are going to stain your gel plate. That's okay. It's not going to hurt the performance of your gel plate at all. It just means it's going to tint it, and it's not going to affect the pulling of prints at all. So just be aware that if you are using alcohol inks, that's going to happen with your gel press, or your gel, your printing gel press. Okay, I'm just going to remove the acetate that's on these. Now, typically I like to work directly on my Tim Holtz glass mat and stick this down so it doesn't move. However, the fact that I'm using alcohol inks today, I thought I would use my Tim Holtz, what is this? It's a craft mat of some sort. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm going to use this just because the alcohol inks, it's going to get messy. You may also want to wear gloves. because this could stain your fingers. And I'm going to pull up my sweater here. I can't find my gloves, so I am going to, pardon me, wing it here and I'm just going to get dirty is really what's going to happen, and that's okay. That's part of crafting. So to start off here, I'm just kind of looking at my gel mold here, the gel press, and I'm just kind of looking at the different sides of it. Sometimes there's little bits of imperfections. I'm not sure if you can, I don't think you can see that, but there's some little imperfection bubbles. It shouldn't affect your gel printing, but I just like to kind of look it over and make sure I don't have any flaws in it that are going to affect my prints. So I'm going to lay this down. Just trying to work out some of the air bubbles as I lay it down just so it sticks down nicely. And how do we want to get started? Let's actually kind of ease our way into this, and let's start off with this pink fresh stamp set. I think that would be fun. And I'm going to open this up. You can use any stamps that you like to create images and texture and everything on the background of your print. But I just thought this one would be fun to play with, as it is a slimline design. Alright, set the wrappers off to the side. And this is just such a beautiful one. And just pulling it off the release paper here is kind of half the battle sometimes. There! Whew, did it. Okay. I'm going to move that off to the side. And so what I want to start doing is, this is going to fit really nicely on this gel print. So let's go ahead, and what you want to do is you want to use a StazOn ink for your gel printing, because it dries quite quickly. And so let's get started. What do we want to do? Just trying to think if we want to start off with some alcohol ink colors. Let's see what we have. I feel this one is kind of pinks to me. So what do we have here? I've got some Flamingo. And that is by Tim Holtz, Ranger. I also have some Fiesta. That might be a fun color to work with. I think I want to go pinks and teals for this. So I also have Patina. And let's try Pool. I think those would be some fun colors to try and work with, and we'll see what we can have happen. So to start off with, let's put down our stamped image. Just going to move these guys off to the side just so I don't have them in my way. So I'm going to ink up my stamp with the StazOn ink. I don't know what it is. I like the smell of StazOn ink. I know that's really weird, but I don't know. It kind of reminds me of almond paste. The smell of almond paste, I think, is what it kind of reminds me of. Alright, because this is a newer stamp, I'm just really working the ink onto it. Again, if you're really particular about your stamps, the StazOn is going to stain your stamp, but that's okay. It's not going to affect the quality of it. It actually may even help it to stamp better, to tell you the truth. So okay, I think I've got that inked up fairly well. We'll set the ink aside, and we're going to go ahead and peel this up. Now I don't have a block that's big enough for this, but I think it'll be okay. I think I can just get it laid down. And just lay it on top, and then we're just going to kind of press it down. You know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Tim Holtz stamp platform lid. It's really nice, the stamp platform, because the lid comes off of it. So I'm actually going to grab the lid. I think this is going to help me. And kind of push down. So I'm actually going to stand up for this, just so I can get some good pressure onto that gel print. Okay. And then stamp it down. Is it gonna stamp down for us, hopefully? Huh. Okay, well, I do not see the ink on our gel plate. That's interesting. Well, let's ink this up again. You know what? I'm kind of rethinking this mat here. I think I'm going to just get rid of it. I really like having this just stuck directly onto my glass mat here. I know it might be harder for you guys to actually see, and quite honestly it might be harder for me to see the stamped image as well, but I kind of think we're going to go with that, just because it doesn't move around. Once it's stuck to my surface there, it sticks quite nicely. Okay, so let's try this again. Put that down onto our gel print. Ugh. Lift it off. Now I can't tell or see if it's on there or not, but we're going to cross our fingers and pretend that it is. And we'll see what happens. We'll just kind of let that dry a bit. You want the layers to dry in between this gel printing process. So I'm going to start off. I've got some scrap paper beside me, just so I can brayer off onto it. Bring that over. And we're just going to squirt on some of these alcohol inks. So that was the Flamingo. And this is the Fiesta. A little bit of that over top. And I'm just going to bring my brayer in and just kind of move the colors a little bit. And I can just brayer off onto my scrap paper. And let's bring in our patina. And then let's bring in the pool. Again, you want to use colors that are complementary, that when they get kind of mixed together, they're not going to create a mud look. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my brayer again and just kind of move some of that around. And then what we want to do is we want to let this dry. Take this off. So we want to let this dry just a bit. Let me see, I have a hair in my my gel press. We don't want that. So let's just give this a minute to dry, and then we'll come back and finish the next step. Okay, I'm back. It was really just a couple minutes. I just kind of fanned it off, and the alcohol inks have now dried. So what we want to do is I'm going to pull in another piece of scrap paper, and just going to shake up this acrylic paint just a little bit. And I'm going to put a little blob onto my paper. You don't want to put it directly onto your plate because that will reactivate the inks and move it around. So you want to bring in, this is just another brayer, this one's a Recollections one. Just kind of get the paint all over your brayer, and you want to apply a thin layer of the acrylic paint onto your gel print. You don't want a thick layer because it'll just pull the paint up and not the alcohol inks with it. Okay, so I think that should be good. Now I am going to bring in my cardstock piece that I prepared. Again, this is 4 inches by 8.5 inches. And I will lay that over top of the gel pad or the gel print. And I'm just using a gift card just to smooth the cardstock, just so I get a good impression on the back of this gel print. Okay, and now this is kind of where the magic happens. We're going to peel back, and we will reveal our print. Oh, that's pretty. So, really interesting. I am not sure why, but the stamp did not stamp onto the gel print. I've seen it done before, and I've done it before where you stamp on with Stays On and it actually works and it pulls up the inked image. So I'm not sure why, but that's okay. We can go ahead and stamp the image on to this after. So let's go ahead. Now, how to clean off your jelly plate is you can use, honestly, just hand sanitizer or blending solution. That's a little more expensive, but this hand sanitizer I got at the beginning of the pandemic, and it's a great big wine bottle full, and it works perfectly. I just get a paper towel and use that to apply it and pull up the extra ink. Now you can also do ghost prints, so let's just try this with this scrap paper and see if we get anything else come off of there. So nothing really. Very, very light. You can't really tell. So not really a good second ghost print off of that one, but let's go ahead and try something else. So that one basically just ended up being like alcohol inks on your jelly print. So let's try some different colors. Let's try more of a fall themed one. Let's put our other ones back. And I want to use, let's do some honeycomb. I have botanical, a nice green. That's white. Don't think I want white. Oh, I also have these alcohol pearls. That might be fun. Let's try that. And some alchemy, which is also alcohol pearls. So we're going to have to shake these alcohol pearls up just a bit, just to get those pigments flowing. All right, and let's use Lavinia Stencil, and this one is the leaf mask. Let's give this one a go. So pull this out, and that's going to fit beautifully on there. Let's see. Let's pull in the... What do I want to use first here? Let's put our stamp down, or our stencil down. Do I want some... Sorry, I'm thinking and it hurts. I'm just thinking if I want maybe a light... Let's try a light smattering of this alcohol pearl ink alchemy. Try this, and then I want to, well, you can, I don't know if you can see that because it's not close enough, but it's just shimmering. So I want to spray a thin layer of that over top. Add some more. And those pigments are just shimmering. It's so pretty. So we have that, and I'll just, don't really have any excess to brayer off. So this is drying really quite quickly. And we'll put our mask on top. And then I'm just going to move this up a bit, I think. There we go. Let's put this on top. And then I'm just going to use my brayer just to push it down just slightly so it kind of adheres to the gel plate itself. Okay, then we can go ahead and bring in, let's try some of this botanical. And I also have, I think that might look nice, is this rosewood. I think I want to try a little bit of that too, kind of the fallish colors. And we'll just drop some in. And let's try a little bit of the Envy, the alcohol pearl Envy. So again, this is going to have some sparkle to it. I'm just going to brayer these inks just a little bit. Oh, that's pretty. And then a little bit of the Envy pearl ink. And we'll just brayer that a little bit. Those shimmery alcohol pearls are so pretty. Right, I want to use a little bit more of this, or use this honeycomb. I don't think I've used this yet, actually. I used the other one. I have to say, so far so good, you guys. I'm going to jinx myself, but I don't have too much ink all over me, so that's good. Alright, and we'll brayer that. Just moving the ink around a bit. And then the last one, let's use this rosewood, just to bring in some darker tones to this. And then just a little bit of a brayer again. Okay. Now again, what we're going to do is we're going to let this dry up a bit before we put on our acrylic paint. So I will be right back after this has had a little bit of time to dry. Okay, so we are back and I am now going to remove the stencil from the gel plate. And so it's still a little bit wet, kind of running together. Now again, this I will clean off with the alcohol hand sanitizer. You can use isopropyl, like I said, but that is what I will be using. I'm just going to set the stencil aside. And then what I want to do is bring in some more of that acrylic white paint. Just again using some scratch paper on the side, or just some really printer paper. And then we will roll on the white acrylic paint on the back of this. Nice thin layer. Again, you don't want it too thick. Again, I will grab my cardstock. I'll try and line it up somewhat straight. Bring in my card and just smooth down the background. Just so we get a good even pull of our image. Okay, this is the exciting part. We're going to pull this off. I'm really kind of intrigued to see what this is going to look like. All right, so I'm going to pull nice and slow. The anticipation. And look at that. That is just gorgeous. Oh, I'm so in love with that. I could do many, many more of these. That stencil is amazing. So pretty. And it looks like it did pull some of the pink ink that we used before. We've got some of that showing in the background, but that's okay. I don't mind that. I think it looks kind of cool. So yeah, we will go with that. That's super fun. All right, we'll set that one aside. And then let's actually go ahead and I want to clean off my plate. We'll see if we can get any images to pull through. Use our card. Let's see if anything comes up. I'm not sure if it will, but and again, nothing really pulled on that paper. But let's go ahead and I'm just going to see if I can open up this hand sanitizer bottle. Ooh. And then just putting some onto my paper towel. And then just wiping off. So you can see I'm getting some of that color up. All right. Okay, so let's now go ahead and try another one. I really like this Mandela, so let's go ahead and try that one. Again, use any stencils that you have. And what colors do we want to use? So for this one, I actually want to try, I have this boysenberry, so I think what I want to do is, bring in my paper again. Boysenberry, what else do I have? Ooh, I have some gold. Yes, let's try that. That's gold mixative. Have some vineyard. Maybe we want some pinks. Let's try gumball and the Fiesta. So purple and pink for this one. And I think what I want to try and do is get my gel plate somewhat straight on my work surface. Okay. Maybe pull that up just a bit so I'm somewhat centered on screen. Okay, so let's try a little bit of this boysenberry. And oh, that's a beautiful color. Put some of this down. And I think I want to spread that out just a bit. That is drying quite quickly. And then let's put our stencil on. Now I don't want to have it right in the center. I want to kind of put it off just a little bit. So we'll lay that down. Again, I'm just going to use my brayer just to kind of press it down so that we get good adhesion on the gel plate. And, ooh, let's get started with let's do the gumball. Just kind of drop in here and there. And then let's try the vineyard. And I'm just going to kind of brayer those just a little bit. Just to move those inks around just a little bit. And then let's bring in some of this gold. I think that would be fun. A little drop right in the center. So I hope everybody's day is going well and that you're able to get in your craft rooms. It's pretty rainy today here in Calgary where I'm from. So it's a perfect day to be inside and crafting. That gold kind of took over. I'm not sure about that one, but that's okay. Let's add in some Fiesta. Roll that around as well. Not sure how this one's going to turn out. It's pretty juicy. Okay, so as we did before, we're going to let this dry a bit and then I will come right back. Okay, so it's had some time to dry. I'm going to go ahead and peel off the stencil. It's a little wet underneath. Look at that, just beautiful. Put this down and just kind of run my brayer over it and see what we get out of it. A few little impressions there. So again, I'm going to set this aside. I will clean it off with my hand sanitizer later. All right. I'm just going to bring packaging over just where underneath it was still kind of wet, to just dry it up a bit. And then we can go ahead and bring back in our paint, our acrylic paint. Again, just putting a blob down. You can use a piece of acetate for this, or whatever kind of smooth surface you can brayer the ink onto. I just like to use this paper, just it's easy cleanup. Okay, here we go. It's kind of nerve-wracking when you have to get your paint on there. A little bit of ink transfer onto. You know what might also be fun is using other color of paints, not just white. You can use even metallic paints would be fun, or we could add maybe some Pearlax or some Perfect Pearls into the paint just to give it some shimmer. That might be fun. And let's go ahead and pull in our cardstock piece. We'll line that up as best as I can. Bring in my card. And let's see. Okay, here's the exciting part. Let's pull up and see what we get. That's an interesting one. Don't know if you can kind of see the shine of the gold. The Mandela didn't come out as nicely as I had hoped, or as defined as I had hoped. But it's not bad. I think we can work with it as a background for sure. All else fails, I can make a really fun tag out of this for my journal making. So yeah, that's okay. Set that aside. Let's see what we get. Maybe we can pull a ghost print from this one. Who knows, maybe this one will be the winner. Again, just using the card to smooth out the back. Alright, let's pull and see what we get. Yeah, blah, nothing. That's okay. Where it did print is kind of pretty. It's pretty colors, but yeah, it didn't get anything really substantial. Like, there's lots left on the plate. Let's try maybe adding some more of the acrylic paint. Maybe that will help to pull anything else off. Let's try that. So I hope you, if you own a jelly plate, that you pull it out and play along. I know these are kind of like, I'm just going to use the same cardstock. It's kind of like we get these supplies and sometimes we forget to actually use them, and I'm so guilty of that. So it's nice that I'm pulling out some of these items, especially my alcohol inks. You know, I have them and I don't use them enough. But I think with this gel printing that I will, because it's so much fun. I can create so many backgrounds. Okay, so that's our ghost print on that. It's kind of cool, actually. Again, I can kind of see a tag for this, for the use of this one, I think, in my journals. So that's kind of fun. All right, so we do have, let's show you what we've got so far. We do have this one where we tried stamping and it didn't pull up the image. How to play around with that a little bit more. Then we have this one where we use the Lavinia Stamps leaf mask. That one is super cool. I love, love, love the look of that. And then these ones with the Mandela, I'm going to play around with some different colors. I think I'm going to do some blues and greens. So I'm going to play off screen just a little bit, and then I will come back and show you what else I have managed to pull. Alright guys, I'll be right back. Okay guys, I have gone ahead and finished off the cards with these backgrounds that we made. This is the first one. So I've just trimmed down the cardstock to fit the card base, which is, it measures, when you open it up, it is 8 inches by 8.5 inches. So then I just square it at 4 inches to create a card. So we're doing this card this way, the horizontal way, and it's just a simple sentiment, thinking of you. I went ahead and used the Pink Fresh stamp that we were trying to play with earlier on this background, and I stamped it with the Nocturne ink from Versa Claire. That seemed to work the best on this, and then yeah, just finished off that card. There's the first one. The second one that we did, this beautiful leaf mask from Lavinia Stamps, is just gorgeous. I didn't want to take away from it because it just looks so beautiful, like almost like a watercolor. So I just chose a simple sentiment, grateful. I die cut that in black cardstock and then clear heat embossed it just to give it a little bit of shine. And look at this card, just gorgeous. Love the shimmer in it. I think that turned out so well. Alright, our next card was the Mandela stencil background that I was playing around with. It didn't come out as well as I would have liked. However, this still turned into a really beautiful card. I just backed it on some silver cardstock, cut out the letters to spell the word joy, and that just kind of finishes off this card. Again, it's amazing how you can create any type of cards with these alcohol ink gel press backgrounds. So pretty. Now our fourth card, as I said, I was going to play around with some blues and greens for the Mandela stencil, and again, it didn't pull as well as I would have liked. I think it had to do with just kind of how much ink I was putting on. I think I put on too much ink, to tell you the truth. But again, it still turned out into a beautiful background. I went ahead and put a Tim Holtz person, as well as I used a piece of my washi that I created, and I'll try and remember to link the video on how I made these little washi clusters. I'll link that at the end of this video. Again, just a really simple sentiment. Life is in the details. I created this to be a card style tag. The reason why I'm doing that is I'm actually going to use this in one of my journals. I think I really like the way that this turned out, and I think this would be a great tag journaling card for one of my journals. Slimline version of that. So yeah, again, here is another background that I did just with kind of all sorts of different colors of inks, mostly greens, blues, yellow. There's some gold in there, and a lot of the pearl alcohol inks is what I used on this one. Again, I added just a simple hello die cut, again with the clear embossing, and I added a little bit of bling just to kind of spice up the front of that card. I did use a sentiment from the Pink Fresh stamp set that we were using earlier, and I just put just thinking of you on in the inside. So hello, just thinking of you. I think that was a really pretty card. You know what I might even do next time is come in just with a little bit of white acrylic paint and maybe just put a few splatters on. That might also kind of lighten up the card a little bit, but otherwise I'm still really quite happy with it. And then our final card is, I played around with a whole bunch of colors again, and this one is just so beautiful. Again, it reminds me of like a watercolor background just with those alcohol inks. It's just stunning. Another simple thanks sentiment, this time with gold heat embossing. Again, I used a sentiment from the Heartfelt Thanks stamp set that we were using earlier, and I just put it was so nice of you to do something so nice for me. So yeah, these are the cards that I came up for our Slimline card challenge word. I really like the way that these all turned out. I think they're super unique and fun. I hope that you give this technique a try. Again, the specific press that I was using today was from Lavinia, and it's called the Bob Long. It's just perfect size for Slimline cards. And again, the stamp set that I was using is the Heartfelt Thanks from Pink Fresh Studio. Again, is just super sentiments and great stamped image to work for a Slimline card. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I will link everything that I've used today over at the Scrap and Stamp blog, which the link will be down below. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much, guys, and P.S. I love you. I just want to thank you so much for spending your time with me today. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're looking for specific materials that I've used in today's video, go ahead and check out the links down below. As well, I'd really love it if you sent me some snail mail. I'm always interested to know what you guys have been up to and what you've been creating, and I'd love to share your cards on my next video. Thanks so much again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. P.S. I love you.